Good morning.
Good morning, Rick.
Good. You may write me down in history with your bitter and twisted lies. You may tread me in the very dirt, but still like dust, I'll rise. Does my sassiness upset you? Why are you so beset with gloom? Because I walk like I've got oil wells pumping in my living room. Just like moons and like suns with the certainty of tides, just like hopes springing high, still I'll rise. Did you want me to see me broken, bowed head and lowered eyes, shoulders falling down like teardrops, weakened by my soulful cries? Does my hauntiness offend you? Don't you take it awful hard, because I laugh like I've got gold mines digging in my own backyard. You may shoot me with your words, you may cut me with your eyes, you may kill me with your hatefulness, but still like air, I'll rise. Does my sexiness upset you? Does it come as a surprise that I dance like I've got diamonds at the beating of my thighs? Out of the huts of history's shame I rise. Up from a past that's rooted in pain, I rise. I'm a black ocean, leaping and wide, welling and swelling, I bear in the tide, leaving behind nights of terror and fear, I rise. Into a daybreak that's wondrously clear, I rise. Bringing the gifts that my ancestors gave, I am the dream and the hope of the slave. I rise, I rise, I rise. Maya Angelou. So, I wanted to share her today because I want us to look at where this woman walked and consequently look at our own walk. So she was born April 4th, 1928 in St. Louis, Missouri. She was a writer, civil activist. She was known in 1969 for I Know Why the Cage Bird Sings, which made literary history. In 1971, she published the Pulitzer Prize-nominated poetry collection, Just Give Me a Cool Drink of Water Before I Die. She later wrote the poem On the Pulse of Morning, one of her most famous works, which she recited at Bill Clinton's inauguration in 1993. She also received several honors throughout her career, including 2 NAACP Image Awards in the Outstanding Literary Work Nonfiction category 2005 and 2009. Multi-talented, barely seems to cover the depth and breadth of Maya Angelou's accomplishments. An author, an actress, screenwriter, dancer, and poet. Born Marguerite Annie Johnson, Angelou had a different childhood. Her parents split up when she was very young, and she and her older brother Bailey were sent to live with her father's mother, Ann Henderson, in Stamps, Arkansas. As an African-American, Angelou experienced first-hand racial prejudice and discrimination in Arkansas. She also suffered at the hands of the family associates around the age of 7. During a visit with her mother, Angelou was raped by her mother's boyfriend. Then, as vengeance for the sexual assault, Angelou's uncles killed the boyfriend. So traumatized by the experience, Angelou stopped talking. She returned to Arkansas and spent years as a virtual mute. I just wanted to stop on that. Just imagine. She's just shut down. Totally shut down and quiet. Doesn't talk. But wow, when she comes back. During World War II, Angelou moved to San Francisco, California, where she won a scholarship to study dance and acting at the California Labor School. Also during this time, she became the first black female cable car conductor, a job she held briefly in San Francisco. 1944, at 16, she gave birth to a child, Guy, from a very short high school relationship, and in 52, the future literary icon wed Anastasis Angelopoulos, a Greek sailor from whom she took her professional name, Maya Angelou. In the mid-1950s, her career as a performer began to take off. She landed a role in the touring production of Porgy and Bess, later appearing in the off-Broadway production Calypso Play, and releasing her first album, Miss Calypso, in 1957. A member of the Harlem Writers Guild and a civil rights activist, Angelou organized and starred in the musical revue Cabaret of Freedom as a benefit for the Southern Christian Leadership Conference, also serving as SCLC's Northern Coordinator. In '61, Angelou appeared in an off-Broadway production of Jean Genet's The Blacks, with James Earl Jones, Louis Gossett, and Cicely Tyson. While the play earned strong reviews, Angelou moved on to other pursuits, spending much of the 1960s abroad. She first lived in Egypt and then in Ghana, working as an editor and freelance writer. Angelou also held a position at the University of Ghana for a time. After returning to the United States, Angelou was urged by friend and fellow writer James Baldwin to write about her life experience, which became known as I Know Why the Cage Bird Sings. She made literary history as the first nonfiction bestseller by an African-American woman. Public work also made Angelou an instant international star. Since publishing Cage Bird, Angelou has continued to break new ground, not just artistically, but educationally and socially. She wrote the drama Georgia, became the first African-American woman to have her screenplay produced, and went on to earn a Tony Award nomination for her role in the play Look Away in 1973. An Emmy Award nomination for her work on the television miniseries Roots in 1977, among many other honors. One of her most famous works is a poem on the pulse of morning, which she wrote especially for and recited at President Bill Clinton's inaugural ceremony in 1993, making the first inauguration of recitation since 1961, when Robert Frost delivered the poem, The Gift Outright, to President John F. Kennedy's inauguration. Angelou went on to win a Grammy Award for the audio version of the poem. I want to stop for a minute because I want us to just think about where this woman begins, how traumatic it was, and how she really shut down for a period of time, but comes back. And she comes back almost with what you might want to say a vengeance. She's living in a time when in this country there is great struggle around racial issues, and she stands up and she addresses them. That took courage. I think one of the things that I get out of her life is just that, courage. Courage to go on. Courage to step into new things. She doesn't stay in just one arena, she moves into several. And what I also saw, and I'm going to share at the end of my talk, is that when she starts out, part of her focus is on racial equality, and primarily in the arena for African Americans. But as she moves through her life, it opens up to more than that. She begins to recognize all people, recognizing that all people have the right to have equality, and she speaks out of that. And this last poem addresses that. So what I wanted to kind of bring to us very briefly is, what will they say when we leave? Have we left an impact somewhere along the way that made a difference to people? Were we courageous? Were there things that we really were being pushed to do? And when I say pushed to do, it's that voice, that nagging little voice that we get inside of us that tells us to do something. And we either respond to it or we try to shut it down. Are we moving in the direction that Spirit would have us moving? What will they say when we're gone? Will we have impacted anybody's life, changed or made any difference with anybody? And we're not talking about numbers, because you can touch a soul's life that will touch many other souls' lives. But because you touched that one, it made a difference for thousands. And the question is, where are you? How courageous are you? So I could share with you something that happened to me yesterday, and it's minor, but yet for me it was major. I was parking my car, and there was a truck next to me, a van, and a little kid got out. I want to think he was maybe 6 or 7. It wasn't much more than that. He gets out the car. I make sure that, I was still so that I didn't hit him. And he goes to the curb right in front of me, and he stops and looks at my car, and he says to me, "You need to move that. You're too close to the curb." And I looked at this little short person, and I said, wow. I mean, that takes a lot of chutzpah to say something to a stranger like that. And that really was him responding to the spirit within him, and I thought that was so awesome. So I listened to him, and I backed my car up a little bit. He said, and when I got out, I said, "Thank you so much. That was so nice of you." But it's that kind of a little thing that makes a difference. It's that little bit that you allow yourself to open up and say to people instead of ignoring it. That little kid could have walked away and said to himself, "She's too close to that street." But he didn't. He took the time to say something to me. And it could have saved me thousands of dollars, because if my fender had gotten caught up on the street, it could have pulled us apart. So that's what I'm talking about. Where are we on a day-to-day basis? How are we affecting the people that pass by us on a day-to-day basis? Are we taking the time to be loving enough to tell somebody something, to share something? Or are we just ignoring it? And sometimes it's just as simple as, "Boy, that dress is so pretty." Because that individual doesn't feel real confident at that moment. And you complimenting them on the way they look changes their entire mood. It changes their entire way of how they're going to approach the rest of their day. It's a matter of how much do you really care about your fellow man, that you're willing to step out of your comfort zone to have a conversation or say something to somebody. How many times have you been hit with a poem that came to your mind and you didn't write it down, or you did write it down but you didn't share it with anybody? That's the kind of stuff I'm talking about. I mean, this lady could have stayed shut down and never allowed this talent to move through her. She didn't have to take a position with the Southern Christian Leadership Conference. She didn't have to do that. She didn't have to take a stand. Part of her journey was connecting with Martin Luther King and being a very close friend of his. And he actually passed on her birthday, so that she never celebrated her birthday again. She always sent flowers to his widow. But the point of what I want to say is that we're here for a reason, and each and every day that we get up is an opportunity to step into your reason. And you may change as the time goes by. You see, because she started out in one arena, she was a dancer. I didn't know that. She was a dancer, she was an actress, and she allows herself to grow into new arenas. How many of us are sitting in the same cotton-picking, chicken-plucking place that we've been in for years, and we are tired of it, but we're too chicken to move forward to something else? When we may be bringing some talent, some wonderfulness to some other place. But we're too, I don't know, I'll be tired and I might as well just stay here. To me, this woman's life says step up and be. Step up and be. Step up and be the best you possibly can be. Get past your stuff. She experienced a traumatic situation when she was young. Just having a split family is bad enough. But then not being safe is another thing. And then seeing family members in trouble because of you. All of that she carried with her. But she was able to get beyond it. I know each of us has had some traumatic situations. Something that we'll never share with anybody. But is that situation holding us back? Is it holding us in a particular spot and we're not allowing the greatness that's in us to come forth? That's the question. The other piece is sometimes the things that we've experienced are opportunities to share with others to help them heal. So how many times have we experienced something and we hold it in our hearts? We don't want to share it. We're either ashamed, it's too painful, and on, take out the violin. When in reality, we survived it. And there are others that may be facing it. How many times are you willing to really open up and share the path that you've been on? And share how you got through it, how you got to the other side. I honestly believe that the various moments in our lives are opportunities for us to share with other people. There are opportunities for us to heal. There are opportunities for us to get to the other side and forgive. Not just shut down, not just keep it in, but be able to help others to step forward. Right in this room, and I say this almost Sunday after Sunday, right in this room is the talent to rock this city. Rock it. In this room are people that can literally touch others and change the path that they're on and get them on the path they may need to be on to affect hundreds and thousands of people. But it takes courage. And see, that's to me what her life theme was, courage. Having courage to speak what's on your heart. Having courage to step beyond the boundaries. Having courage to say what needs to be said. So I said at my other church the other day, with one of the managers, and I've been telling you about one of my things is chewing gum when fixing food. And so he came by words and I was like, how do things go? I said, well, you got 3. He said, what? I said, you got 3 more to take care of. And we had an interesting conversation because I saw another side of this man where he literally did hear what I have to say, and he actually had approached one of the 3 already. And he really is interested in having a restaurant that is in alignment with being healthy. And he's interested in taking these young people and helping them to be better and do a good job. So I was really glad that I had opened up my mouth and said something to him and helped him to have the kind of restaurant that he wants to have. That's what I'm talking about. See, because when I walk in, they know I've walked in. And if they were chewing, they stop. Okay. But that's okay. Because the light is out. And maybe if you do it enough, you'll get into a new habit. But the name of the game is, you are here to be you. You are here to share who you are with others. You are here to grow beyond your comfort zone. You are here to be more than you are right this moment. Spirit is calling you something greater. And it may be a whole different career, a whole different experience. That takes courage. That absolutely takes courage. And you may be hearing something inside of you, and part of you's going, no, I'm too old to do that. I can't do that. I can't do that. So, I like to practice what I preach. So I'm going to share something. 2 weeks ago, I went to a modeling contest. What? Are you serious? Yes, I did. And I got chosen. That was leg one. I'm getting ready to go to leg two. But there's something inside of me. It wasn't the marvelous so much as an opportunity to do my voiceover work that I haven't done in years. And so I don't know when, put my name in the box, and I got called. And I could have said, ooh, I can do that. And there was a little part of me that said, ooh. And I said, shut up. Shut up. Just do it. All you do is say yes, no, get out of here. Are you kidding me? The other piece is, my ebook is out. I have had people asking me for quite some time to publish the process that I teach in affirmative prayer, and so that's been done. The ebook is out. You can go online and Google me, and the name of the book is Creating Change in Your Life Through Affirmative Prayer. It is not fluffy. I'm not fluffy. It was to the point. This is how you do this. Step 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, whatever. And you can take it, use it, and see some results, and share it with others, because I really believe that we have a process that works. And so often people will say that God doesn't want you to have something or the devil's busy. It's none of that. It's about how you are speaking to the universe and the results that you get back in terms of your subconscious mind. So that has been done, and I'm close to my next book, and that close, I expect within the next 2 weeks for that to be complete. So what I'm saying to you is, you know, as God calls you forth to do some other things that you don't normally do, have the courage to step into it. Have the courage to do it. Have the courage for people to reject it or accept it. But have the courage to step forward into something greater for yourself, allowing God to have that experience through you as you. I'm grateful for Maya Angelou. I'm grateful that she decided she'd talk again. I'm grateful that she decided that she would put that voice in poetry, that she would dance on stage, that she would act, and that she would be an example of a first in many arenas. But what I really am very proud of is that as she moved from the idea of African American people having freedom, she moved to all people having freedom. And because she was an important voice, what she has to say about it has some effect in the world. So I want to close with her poem that she gave in, I have to come off the stage for this. Give me a second. I want to close with a poem that she used at the inauguration because it really reflects her growth in terms of who and what she was, and it's on my phone. And another stage where I put it, technology. And I would like to share this, but as I come to a close, again, the theme today is courage. The courage like this little kid that walked up to me and told me about my car yesterday. And I love him for that. I don't know him personally, but I spirit-wise, I love him for that. And I want us to be able to step beyond our comfort zone as we move about this week. So I want to share with you this poem that she wrote. Good. It was right here, and I could have gotten ready. So know with me that I refactor this. went to another space. All right. I'll tell you what we're going to do. We'll sing and come back if I have an extra song set up for us. We'll be able to find I Love Myself. All right, let's sing I Love Myself So Much, and then in the interim know that I made it for this poem I love. If not, life goes on. Pregnant horses. I don't know why they're called pregnant horses, except that in the interim of the quiet, something's being born. Does that make sense? Yeah. So in my hand is Chesna's phone has it, and I'm trying to get it on hers, but I do want to go ahead and sing, like put an extra song in today. So are we ready? It's still eating? Okay. So while we're waiting in the silence, in the presence of pause, I want you to think about something that you are being called to that requires courage. And if you have identified it, raise your hand. Good, look at this. Look at all this stuff we got. I love it. Now, if you're really ready to share with somebody, and you know how I teach, don't share stuff that you know is still inside the belly. But if you're ready to birth it, and you feel like I need to share it so that I will birth it, then share it with somebody. You want to share with all of us? I love it. Go ahead. Come on.
Well, I have actually done about 2 events. It's called Living-C.O.L.O.R.S, which took a lot of courage because I had no idea. Well, I didn't think I had no idea what I was doing, but it manifested and it was great. I also developed and wrote out a camp, 2011. And it's just sitting on my hard drive. I never did anything with it. I was like, oh, every now and then I would think about it. And I was like, no, I don't know if I'm ready to do a camp. Just no. Same thing with it, no. So I decided, just doing Prosperity Plus class, it was just writing out some ideas and just listening to some of the suggestions that some of my classmates were throwing out. The camp entered my spirit again. So I am now in the birthing stages of developing Enrich the Soul day camp for the young, gifted, and talented. God has been so gracious to allow me to use the center to have this camp come alive. I'm very excited about it. It's going to be a camp of performing arts for teenagers from 13 to 17. And we're going to be doing everything from creative writing, poetry, acting. We have vocal coach that will come in and speak about natural voice, so that's enhancing anybody's singing voice. So it's going to be a lot of different things, modeling, fashion styling. So a lot of things that I actually just wrote out at 2011. I looked at all of my objectives when I decided I was going to do this. And here it is. It's going to come alive right here in the center. And we're going to throw out the dates. I have the announcements. I'll give them to Sharon for next Sunday so that way you all can get the dates and where to register and all that good stuff.
This is challenging for me. Rather like my angel. She has changed my life. I have known since I was a child that the Spirit was in me when I
rise to my highest good is of the great, of Gandhi, of Oprah, of Martin Luther King. And I have been a healer and a creator and an artist all my life. I have told people this story. And Africa is my home. This is the body that God gave me to show up in. But Africa is my home. I dance it. I have an African drum with a painting on it. All of my mentors are African American. And 2 weeks ago, I left. I made my resignation in physical therapy at Bryan Center in Concord. God told me to do it. And I will be starting a .org in Africa. And eventually I will be living in Africa. And it will be for women and children. And right now my business is creativelifebydesign.net, and that is who I am. That is not the name of my business. This is the infant Todd, and I'm going through major changes in my life. But it took people like Rev that I will step into my power, and when I heard about Angelo, I said that I will take a leap of faith and I will step into my house and walk my journey so other people can walk their journey too.
Anyone else want to share? Thank you. Thank you for that courage that took. Because you know this is a special space. Absolutely done. Done. So, let's know that this poem wants to be shared. A rock, a river, a tree. Host a species long since departed, marked the mastodon. The dinosaur who left dry tokens of their sojourn here on our planet floor. Any broad alarm of their hastening doom is lost in the gloom of dust and ages. But today, the rock cries out to us, clearly, forcefully, come, you may stand upon my rock and face your distant destiny, but seek no haven in my shadow. I will give you no more hiding place down here. You created only a little lower than the angels, have crouched too long in the bruising darkness, have lain too long face down in ignorance. Your mouths filling words, armed for slaughter. The rock cries out today, you may stand on me, but do not hide your face. Across the wall of the world, a river sings a beautiful song. Come rest here by my side. Each of you, a bordered country, delicate and strangely made proud, yet thrusting perpetually under siege. Your arms struggle for profit, have left collars of waste upon my shore, currents of debris upon my breast. Yet today I call you to my riverside, if you will study war no more. Come, clad in peace, and I will sing the songs of the Creator gave me when I and the tree and the stone were one. Before cynicism was a bloody spear across your brow, and when you yet know you still knew nothing. The river sings and sings on. There's a true yearning to respond to the singing river and the wise rock. So say the Asian, the Hispanic, the Jew, the African, the Native American, the Sioux, the Catholic, the Muslim, the French, the Greek, the Irish, the rabbi, the priest, the sheep, the gay, the straight, the preacher, the privileged, the homeless, the teacher. They hear, they all hear the speaking of the tree. Today, the first and last of every tree speaks to humankind. Come to me, here beside the river. Plant yourself beside me, here beside the river. Each of you, descendant of some past, untraveled, has been paid for. You who gave me my first name, you Pawnee, Apache, Seneca, you Cherokee Nation, who rested with me, then forced on bloody feet, left me to the employment of other seekers, desperate for gain, starving for gold. You, the Turk, the Swedes, the Germans, the Scot, you, the Ashanti, the Yoruba, the crew, brought soul, stolen, arriving on a nightmare, praying for a dream. Here, root yourselves beside me. I am the tree planted by the river, which will not be moved. I the rock, I the river, I the tree. I am yours. Your passages have been paid. Lift up your faces. You have a piercing need for the bright morning dawning for you. History, despite wrenching pain, cannot be unlived, and if faced with courage, need not be lived again. Lift up your eyes upon the day breaking for you. Give birth again to the dream. Women, children, men, take it into the palms of your hands, mold it into the shape of your most private need, sculpt it into the image of your most public self. Lift up your hearts. Each new hour holds new chances for new beginnings. Do not be wedded forever to fear, yoked eternally to brutishness. The horizon leans forward, offering you space to place new steps of change. Here on the pulse of this fine day, you may have the courage to look up and out upon me, the rock, the river, the tree, your country, no less to Nile than the Mediterranean, no less to you now than the Mastodon then. Here on the pulse of this new day, you have the grace to look up and out and into your sister's eyes, into your brother's face, your country, and say simply, very simply, with hope, good morning. And so I leave you with the idea of courage. I leave you with the idea that we each are here to make some difference. And so the question is, will they be able to say that about you, that you made a difference? Before we close, I just want to remind everyone that next week we will be celebrating our men. And that, gentlemen, next week you're wearing your sports shirts. Is it next week for Father's Day? Week after? Week after, sorry. Father's Day, you're wearing your sports shirt for the team that you love, and there are several that wear several shirts. But just wanted to give you a heads up ahead of time that we're going to be celebrating you in that manner. So you come casually dressed and enjoy yourselves. Ready for a tithe. Are you going to do this?
Yeah, I have.
This is in your book, the celebration of the law of circulation. Joyfully we give our tithes to the great giver, knowing it comes back, pressed down and overflowing. And so it is.
a separate album. It's not on the piece. It's not on the computer. It's in the CD.
So we have our community church going to share something.
Great morning, everyone. Good morning. Today in Children's Church, we had a discussion and opportunity to express ourselves about a book called Milton's Secrets. It's written by Eckhart Tolle and Robert L. Friedman. And we're going to demonstrate the main idea of the book, the main principles of the book. So, if you all can stand up. All right, so I would tell you, but I'm going to let you guess, and maybe I'll stumble. Can you demonstrate for us the character Milton and how he's operating in the family?
Carter was, well, he is a bully. He's Billy, the main character, Milton. He calls him names saying, what kind of name is Milton? You're a weirdo. And Milton doesn't take that very kindly to himself. He stops being his usual cheerful self for his love, school, his parents, and his cat's nose. His parents know that he's not acting himself anymore. But Billy doesn't want to tell his parents that he's being bullied. And Milton has been worrying about the past, about what Carter has done to him, instead of knowing that Carter's not with him in the now. He's not worrying about himself right then. He's worrying about what happened the day before, last week, or last month. He keeps wondering, why did Carter do that? When is he gonna stop? Why isn't he stopping? The teacher gets on Carter. Carter is punished, but Carter mumbles under his breath, "I'm gonna get you next time." And Bill cannot stop wondering why he's doing that.
So that's Carter's thinking in the past, thinking about, worrying about the past. And Jania is going to tell us about Carter thinking about the future. Milton. Milton is the one that was the, oh, she corrected me, she's going to do the prayer. Okay. Well, I'll tell you about Milton in thinking in the future. He kept thinking all night. He couldn't sleep. He was having dreams. His cat was screaming, had gotten in a fight with a dog, and he didn't even hear it because he was all night. His mind was racing on and thinking about what was to happen if Carter was going to get him and how he was going to deal with it, and just worrying about the future and not being in the present and the now. So Jamia's going to tell us about how to be in the now, in the present.
Milton, the next morning, he saw that his cat was hurt really badly on his paw and his ear, and his grandpa told him that he should start listening to the present and not worrying about the past.
And tell us or tell everyone, how can we demonstrate, how do we do that? How do we just live in the now? What do we do? What are two things?
Listening and looking at what is the present.
So what are some things that are in the present right now? What's happening right now?
We're at church. Listening to Reverend Claire talk to us about church.
And so we had a discussion, and our discussion was very relevant to what the children have been experiencing. And they expressed their experiences as problems. It's very interesting, parents and even other church friends, if you have an opportunity to talk with them, and if they are open to sharing with you about their problems, they would like to know how to deal with some of their problems. And they don't really call it bullying, they call it problems. They call it, problems in sports and problems on the playground, problems with their friends. And they shared in our discussion that telling someone, telling a parent or telling a teacher, that doesn't really work. And so we talked about some ways on how to, know something different, know our greatness. Some of them were to defend ourselves by speaking up. Some of them were to kind of, they were somewhat negative, to say something bad. But it was really to speak up and defend themselves is what they agreed would be the way to handle it. Because they felt if they were to reach out to a parent or a teacher or someone, that they would be bullied even more. So that's something to take home and discuss, and have some discussions about how to address some problems. Even share with them some ways that we've addressed problems, so that they can have some models have a model, have some examples.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for sharing that. Let me just quickly tell you what I tell adults to do when we go. Sometimes when people go to their work or their home, they're experiencing problems. One of the things to remind yourself is that you are God expressed, going to meet God expressed. That you're going to meet the God and all of the children and teachers that you are with during the day. And start saying that to yourself. When something happens, the God in people shows up, and you'll see them act differently. So did everybody hear what I just said? The God in you is meeting the God in all the people that you're meeting every day, all day long. And you have to say that every single day before you walk out your door, and you will find your experience will be very different. You will not have the issues that you think you have right now. Okay? Please bear with us. We have changed the process and the order of how the service is going. So at this point, if you have a bulletin, you now have the announcements in the bulletin, so you know what is happening. Today being the first Sunday, we will meet. The men will meet next door. The ladies will stay here and meet. We have some planning to do, so please give us a few minutes to come together. And what else do I want to tell you? There are ties. Where our ties are going, we're going to be putting in the bulletin at this point. So what you're looking at is where ties went last month, so that you understand that we are reaching out to our community and supporting the community as tithers. Just as we ask you to be tithers here, we tithe out to the community. So we will be putting that in the bulletin on a monthly basis. The more ties we get, the more ties we can send out. So knowing that we're able to increase that number as we move forward. Anybody else? Anything that we did not get? Announcements now are in the bulletin, so if you have an announcement, it needs to get to Sharon in a timely manner so that we can get it in, and if not in the bulletin, at least up here. At this point, we're going to go ahead and close, and we're doing our circle. Come forward.